Hello, I'm Michael Johnson. This is vlog 2 of the GLP project, covering the first interaction I had with Sergio, my foreign exchange student from Honduras. So me and Sergio met up at a dining hall here on campus, just got some food, talked about each other's culture. I believe we talked for just under an hour. We talked mainly about our educational experiences and how we think our cultures develop from those and also influence them. Overall, I would say our educational experiences were a lot more similar than I thought they were going to be. I thought there'd be more differences in terms of structure, class structure. A lot of the class structure, however, was very similar to how it is here in the United States. In the elementary school level, there's a classroom of about 30 kids that stay in the same room all day, and one teacher kind of goes through and does all the subjects. Then at the high school level, you go around, the one student, goes to all the different teachers throughout the day. And there too, at the high school level, the classes were about 30 students. Also, similar to here in the United States, in Honduras, there's also public schools and private schools. In private schools, just like in the United States, a lot of students are required to wear a school uniform, and in public schools, you don't. We also talked a bit about individual work and group work and the presence of those in our schooling. Sergio said that there was more group work as he got into older grades in Honduras, or I would actually say it's kind of the opposite here, where I felt that I did more group work in the younger grades and more individual work as I moved up in the grades. That being said, we didn't really feel like it was a big disparity. We felt like in each of our education experiences, we both learned to work in groups pretty well, and as well how to work on our own. But now we're going to talk about some differences. One of the biggest differences between here in the United States and Honduras in education, I thought, was that in Honduras, there is no middle school. I think the fact that there's no middle school in Honduras may actually teach kids to mature a little sooner. I felt when I was in middle school that I was starting to get toward the more serious stuff, but it was still kind of not very important. Sergio said, however, once he got out of elementary school and now he's in high school, he had to, every class you kind of have to take seriously. Another difference, in Honduras, the private schools are pretty much all bilingual, where you're required to know both Spanish and English. Here in the United States, I'm pretty sure most private schools do not have a mandatory bilingual system. And lastly, probably the biggest difference if you're talking about education between these two countries is that Sergio let me know that about 80% of the people who live in Honduras live in poverty, and therefore about 80% of the people never actually receive a formal education. But for those who are fortunate enough to go get an education in Honduras, it's more similar than not to here in the United States overall. There's a very similar reprimand system, warning, suspension, expulsion. Classrooms of about 30 students, or in the younger grades, the kids are in the same classroom all day. In the older grades, the kids move around to the different teachers. And in both systems, there's an emphasis on individual and group learning. I think the fact that both education systems focus on group learning and individual learning made us both appreciate our culture's education system, and the fact that they both do that. If everybody's doing it, it's probably a good thing. I also thought it was great how in Honduras, at least in the private schools, there's a mandatory emphasis on bilinguality, which I think is one of the most important things in terms of starting to accept other culture, is being familiar with other languages occurring around you. So that is what I have to say about my first interaction for the vlog 2 of the GLP project. Thank you, bye.